Oh, I'm excited about this one.
Today we're tackling a true literary classic,
Yeah.
The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. We got a bunch of excerpts from the original text from you guys out there,
Our listeners are the best.
and we're going to unlock all the secrets of this chilling tale.
Ooh, secrets.
Are you ready to, delve into the duality of human nature with us?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Where better to start than through the eyes of Mr. Utterson? I think he is our steadfast guide
Yes.
through this labyrinth of Victorian London.
Uh-huh.
So he's a lawyer,
A lawyer.
known for his very reserved demeanor.
Okay.
And, dare I say,
Dare you say?
a certain tolerance for the less savory aspects of human nature.
Okay, so he's putting up with some stuff.
Well, he doesn't judge.
Oh,
He's just observing.
that makes him a good lawyer.
And a perfect guide for us
Absolutely.
for this story.
He's almost like a detective in a way.
Very much so.
Piecing together the mystery of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That's right.
And it all begins with,
Yeah.
what seems like a simple Sunday stroll with his distant relative, Mr. Enfield.
Another key character.
They're an unlikely pair,
Yes.
walking in comfortable silence.
That's
They stumble upon a peculiar door.
Aha.
That door, you could say, is like the entry point
It is, quite literally.
into our mystery.
The threshold.
It triggers a disturbing memory for Enfield.
Right.
It's referred to as the incident at the door.
The incident at the door.
He recounts a late-night encounter where he witnessed a man,
Oh.
small and incredibly unpleasant,
Right.
trample a young girl.
Oh.
And this, of course, is our first introduction to Mr. Hyde.
Our villain?
And what an introduction it is.
It really is.
Enfield describes him as radiating pure evil.
Really?
He uses words like juggernaut and damned.
Wow.
He even says the sight of Hyde brought out a sweat on him.
Just the sight of him.
Yeah.
That's fear.
Do you think everyone in the story reacts to Hyde this way?
That's such a good observation.
Yeah.
It's not just Enfield.
Okay.
Pretty much every character
Yeah.
who encounters Hyde describes a similar feeling of, revulsion.
It's more than just dislike.
It's visceral.
Okay.
Utterson himself calls Hyde hardly human.
Hardly human.
So it suggests that there's something primal.
Like animalistic?
Yeah. Something unsettlingly off about his very nature.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't belong.
you're right.
He doesn't fit in.
So it's not just a simple case of
Right.
a bad guy doing bad things.
Exactly.
There's something deeper and more sinister going on here.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even more intriguing.
Oh, tell me.
Instead of fleeing the scene after trampling the girl,
Okay.
Hyde retrieves a check signed by a reputable person to
Okay.
compensate the family.
Wow.
And get this,
Right.
the check is genuine.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a
He's got connections.
yeah.
He's got resources.
Why go through all this trouble of paying off the family?
Right.
Why not just disappear into the London fog?
Yeah.
Could there be a hint of conscience?
It's a good question.
Maybe fear of consequence?
Fear of getting caught.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Why do you think he does this?
I think you've hit on a key point.
Yeah.
That check.
Uh-huh.
That check is the first thread
Okay.
that unravels the connection between Hyde and the esteemed Dr. Jekyll.
Okay.
Remember, Utterson is Jekyll's lawyer,
Right.
and now he sees this check.
Yeah.
So now his concern is really growing,
Right.
especially when he examines Jekyll's will,
Mm-hmm.
and he finds that should Jekyll disappear or vanish for any extended period of time,
Yeah.
Hyde inherits everything.
Right. Flag number one.
Big red flag.
Right.
Yeah,
You've got this strange,
Yeah.
repugnant man
not normal.
named as sole beneficiary
Not at all.
and talk of mysterious disappearances.
Yeah.
This is no ordinary legal duck.
No, this is very suspicious.
This is practically begging Utterson to dig deeper.
Dig deeper, he will. He's a good lawyer.
Driven by worry for his friend.
Yes.
Utterson seeks out another old acquaintance,
Okay.
Dr. Lanyon.
Uh-huh. Another doctor.
But instead of answers,
Yeah.
he just finds more questions.
Oh, no.
It turns out Lanyon and Jekyll have had, a falling out
Oh, really?
over what Lanyon calls Jekyll's unscientific balderdash.
Unscientific balderdash.
They're just strong words
Yeah.
from one doctor to another.
Yeah, so now we have this web of secrecy and strange behavior surrounding Jekyll. I'm starting to feel like we're in one of those
Yeah.
classic locked room mysteries.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, all the clues are there,
Yeah,
but no one's really talking.
that's right.
And Utterson, like any good detective,
Yeah.
he decides to take matters into his own hands.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah.
He stakes out Hyde's mysterious door.
The same door.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Determined to finally come face to face with this creature.
Oh, boy.
This is where the story takes on that gothic,
Yes.
almost thriller-like quality, wouldn't you say?
It's getting creepy.
The dimly lit London streets,
Yeah.
the anticipation of this unsettling encounter.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if we're right there with Utterson,
Yes.
peering into the shadows.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
And when they finally meet,
Yeah.
the encounter is brief
Okay.
but impactful.
Okay.
Utterson experiences the same inexplicable revulsion
Really?
that Enfield described.
So it's confirming there is something fundamentally wrong
Yes, something is not right.
with Hyde.
Uh-huh.
But he manages to at least get Hyde's address.
Okay.
Another piece of the puzzle.
So he's got a door, he's got a will,
Yeah.
he's got an address.
We have a mysterious door,
Yeah.
a strange will,
Uh-huh.
a falling out between old friends,
Right.
and now a confirmed address.
He's getting close.
Utterson is collecting clues like a detective in a penny. Dreadful.
He's on the case.
I have a feeling things are about to take a much darker turn.
Oh, I think you're right.
Buckle up.
Okay.
Because we're about to dive into the Carew murder case.
Ooh, this is bad.
And trust me, it's a
No.
brutal one.
I don't like this. That feeling of dread we were just talking about, well, it gets amplified tenfold
Oh, no.
in the Carew murder case.
Oh, gosh.
This brutal murder of Sir Danvers Carew just rocks London society.
Oh, can imagine.
And there's a maid
Uh-huh.
who witnesses the entire horrific event
Oh, wow.
and describes Hyde's ape-like fury as he clubs this elderly gentleman to death.
It's a truly gruesome scene.
It is.
You know, and to make it even more chilling is that the murder weapon
Yeah.
is a cane.
A cane.
A gift given to Jekyll by none other than Utterson himself.
Oh, how awful.
It really does solidify the link between Jekyll and Hyde
It
in the
does.
most unsettling way.
In such a concrete way.
The cane almost becomes like a symbol.
A symbol of their intertwined fakes.
You know,
Like a physical manifestation of their connection.
a gift from Utterson,
Right.
a man of reason and respectability,
Yeah.
used by Hyde to
Check
compare
this awful act.
a brutal act of violence.
Yeah.
It really underscores that blurred line between good and evil
Right.
that Stevenson is exploring.
It's like the cane itself represents that duality,
Yeah.
that potential for darkness that exists within even the most seemingly upright individuals.
And the investigation into Carew's murder
Yeah.
just deepens the mystery surrounding Hyde.
It does.
Police discover his apartment ransacked
Mm-hmm.
with a burned checkbook suggesting an attempt to cover his tracks.
Oh, so he's trying to disappear.
Yeah.
He's on the run.
But Hyde himself has vanished.
So they have even less to go on.
It's like he's evaporated into thin air.
Into the fog.
And with Hyde gone,
Yeah.
what does this mean for Jekyll?
Good point.
Remember that clause in the will?
Disappearance equals Hyde inheriting everything.
Right.
Utterson must be beside himself with worry at this point.
Yeah, he must be very concerned.
And his concerns just grow even more.
Okay.
In the incident of the letter and Lanyon's demise,
Uh-oh, another death.
we find a reclusive Jekyll,
Okay.
claiming Hyde is gone and that he wants nothing more to do with him. He even shows Utterson a letter, supposedly from Hyde,
From Hyde.
confirming his escape
Okay.
and urging Jekyll not to worry.
Interesting.
But there are a few inconsistencies.
I was going to say, this sounds a little fishy.
Jekyll refuses to reveal how he received the letter,
Okay.
claiming it wasn't delivered by post.
Hmm.
Even more suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
Handwriting analysis
What does it show?
shows a striking similarity between Hyde's letter and Jekyll's own handwriting.
What?
So is this a case of forgery?
If Jekyll is truly done with Hyde,
Right.
why all the secrecy surrounding the letter?
Exactly.
And why the potential forgery?
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't make sense.
And on top of all of that,
Yeah.
you have Dr. Lanyon, who, remember, had that falling out with Jekyll.
Yeah, unscientific balderdash.
Yeah, well, he suddenly falls ill
Really?
and dies.
Another one.
But before he goes,
Yeah.
he mentions knowing the truth about Jekyll.
Ooh.
He says Utterson might learn it someday.
So he's got some information
Yeah, he knows something
that he's not telling.
that he's taking to the grave.
Oh, man.
Almost as if he's been given this glimpse
Yeah.
into a forbidden truth. Something so horrifying that it shattered his very being.
I love how the story isn't just, a straightforward horror tale.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thriller.
A mystery.
It keeps you guessing until the very end.
And as we delve deeper into the final chapters, the atmosphere becomes even more claustrophobic.
Oh.
We're trapped alongside Utterson.
Yeah.
We're witnessing Jekyll's descent into darkness.
He's not doing well.
He isolates himself in his laboratory,
Okay.
desperately seeking specific chemicals.
Chemical.
His voice is taking on this unsettling,
Oh, really?
almost otherworldly quality.
Even his loyal butler, Poole, is terrified.
Poole.
He seeks out Utterson in a late-night plea for help,
Things are really bad.
convinced that something sinister is happening
Yeah.
behind that locked door of the laboratory.
Hmm.
Poole's fear is palpable at this point.
He must really trust Utterson.
He describes Jekyll's behavior as unnatural.
Unnatural.
His voice changed, his need for those chemicals growing more and more desperate.
So something's really wrong.
He believes that the man behind that locked door is not Dr. Jekyll, but something far more sinister.
Okay, this is the climax of the story.
This is it.
The suspense is almost unbearable.
Imagine being in Utterson's shoes,
I imagine.
hearing your friend's voice,
Yeah.
distorted and unrecognizable,
Coming from that room
coming from behind that locked door.
and knowing something's wrong.
The weight of the unknown must be crushing.
I can only imagine.
And they eventually break in,
They have to.
bracing themselves for the horrifying truth.
Okay. And what do they find?
And what they find is both shocking and tragic.
Okay.
They discover the body of Edward Hyde, dressed in Jekyll's clothes,
Oh.
seemingly having taken his own life.
So Hyde is dead.
But Jekyll is nowhere to be found.
He's gone.
A broken key and the absence of Jekyll's body suggest a desperate escape attempt.
He had to get out of there.
However, Jekyll's updated will, naming Utterson as the beneficiary,
So thoughtful.
and a final letter
A letter.
provide a path to unraveling the truth.
So we're going to find out what happened.
But the ultimate revelation lies within Lanyon's narrative and Jekyll's own confession.
Oh, boy.
That is where we'll pick up
I can't wait.
in the final part of our deep dive. So we're left with this chilling cliffhanger.
A real page-turner.
Hyde is dead, but Jekyll is missing.
Yeah.
And we have these unread documents.
Oh, yeah.
Like the key to a locked room in our own little mystery here.
And these narratives, they don't just give us, answers.
Yeah.
They fundamentally shift our perspective.
Oh, okay.
We've been experiencing this mystery so far.
Right.
Through Utterson's point of view. But now, we're going to step into the minds of Lanyon and Jekyll themselves.
I'm a little scared.
It's intense.
Lanyon's narrative is like
Yeah.
a chilling account of his final encounter with Jekyll.
Or rather with Hyde.
Right, or rather with Hyde.
Because remember, at this point,
Yeah.
Lanyon wants nothing to do with Jekyll.
Unscientific balderdash.
Yeah, he thinks Jekyll has fallen into madness. He calls it cerebral disease.
Okay, so he's completely estranged
He is.
from Jekyll's world.
But then he gets this desperate letter from Jekyll, instructing him to retrieve a specific drawer from the laboratory
From the laboratory.
at a very specific time.
This sounds shady.
And get this,
What?
he even arms himself with a revolver.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
He's expecting something.
He's expecting trouble.
Yeah. Dangerous.
Yeah.
Out of the ordinary.
And he's right.
Oh boy.
Because at the stroke of midnight, who should appear at his doorstep?
Yeah.
But this small, grotesque figure, claiming to be sent by Jekyll.
It's got to be Hyde.
It's Hyde.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And so he describes him
Lanyon describes him.
with the same, disgust, morbid fascination.
There's that same, shocking expression on his face.
Yeah, that aura of something inherently wrong.
Right.
Hyde in a frenzy.
Oh, yeah.
Mixes a potion from the contents of this drawer that Lanyon provides.
He brought it right from Jekyll's lab.
And then Lanyon witnesses the impossible.
The impossible.
Hyde drinks the potion.
Okay.
And before his very eyes transforms back into Henry Jekyll.
Oh, my gosh.
It's not just a visual change.
Right.
It's a violation of everything Lanyon understands.
Everything he knows.
About the world, about science, about identity itself.
It breaks his brain.
I can only imagine.
Can you imagine witnessing such a fundamental upheaval of natural law?
It's no wonder that Landon's health just deteriorates so rapidly after this encounter.
He's haunted.
He can't reconcile this rational world with the monstrous truth.
He can't deal with it.
He's seen.
It's like a part of him died that night, along with his understanding of reality.
And his narrative ends with that chilling transformation.
Leaving us with a lot to think about.
It does.
And a lot of questions.
But the heart of the mystery, the explanation for all of this, lies in Jekyll's own confession.
His own words.
Jekyll's statement is more than just a confession.
Right.
It's a journey into the darkest recesses of the human soul.
That's deep.
It reveals a man tormented by this duality within him.
Yeah.
He describes feeling this profound duplicity.
So he's got two sides.
Yeah. And he acknowledges this darkness that existed inside him even from a young age.
So it's not something new.
He desired both respectability and indulgence. Think a struggle many of us can relate to.
Absolutely.
Even if not to such extreme.
On a much smaller scale.
And as his scientific studies progressed, he became like fixated on this idea of separating these two sides of himself.
Oh, he wants to get rid of the bad part.
Yeah, like if I can physically separate good from evil, then I can be free.
From this torment.
From this torment.
It's a dangerous ambition.
It really is.
Fueled by this desire for ultimate freedom.
He wants to be completely free.
And so he creates the potion that allows him to transform
into Edward Hyde.
Into his dark side.
The embodiment of his darker impulses.
All those things he wants to do but can't.
And initially he revels in this freedom.
Like he's having a good time.
Hyde can indulge.
In these hidden pleasures.
Do all the things.
His conscience seemingly absolved.
Because it's not him.
By the separation of identities.
Right.
But is this separation truly possible?
That's the question, isn't it?
He can change his form.
Right.
But he can't escape the consequences of his actions.
Right. Like what Hyde does affects Jekyll.
And the violence escalates, culminating in the brutal murder of Sir Danvers Carew.
And even Hyde is horrified by this.
Yeah, he didn't want to go that far.
So Jekyll tries to regain control. He renounces the transformation.
It's like no more Hyde.
He tries to redeem himself through like charity and kindness.
He's trying to be good.
Be a good guy.
But it's a losing battle.
It's too late.
Hyde's urges just resurface.
Yeah.
Stronger than ever.
The dark side is taking over.
Jekyll finds himself slipping further and further into this abyss.
It's like an addiction.
Yeah, it's a chilling depiction of addiction.
That loss of control and the way our darker impulses can just take hold.
And consume us.
If we're not careful.
And to make things worse.
Uh-oh.
He discovers that the original batch of his potion contained an unknown impurity.
An impurity?
Which was actually the key to its effectiveness.
Oh, no.
And he can't replicate the formula.
Oh, gosh. So he's trapped in this terrifying cycle.
Of transformations.
Yeah, he can't control.
He's at the mercy of Hyde.
He becomes a prisoner in his own home.
Yeah, he can't leave.
His life just shrinking down.
To that one room.
To the confines of his laboratory.
Yeah.
Haunted by the knowledge.
That Hyde could emerge at any moment.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It's a tragic fall from grace.
Yeah.
For this man who, started with a noble, if misguided intention of separating good from evil within himself.
His confession isn't just, like a recounting of events.
It's a warning. Like he understands the monstrous truth.
Yeah.
He's uncovered.
And it ends with this sense of resignation.
That it's too late.
That time is running out.
Yeah.
That Hyde will inevitably win.
The dark side wins.
And we close this deep dive with the chilling realization that both Jekyll and Hyde are destroyed.
Yeah, they're both
victims of their own hubris.
And this illusion of separation.
It makes you wonder, was Jekyll truly free to choose?
Right.
Or was his fate like Hyde's predetermined?
By that duality within him.
It's a question with no easy answers.
And that's what makes this such a timeless tale.
Yeah.
The strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
It forces us to confront, this uncomfortable truth that we're all, in some way, both Jekyll and Hyde,
capable of great good and terrible evil.
And this deep dive has explored themes of addiction, the dangers of scientific hubris, the hypocrisy of Victorian society, and the eternal struggle between our better angels and our inner demons.
That's the core of it.
I encourage you to explore the full text and see what other insights you uncover